Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back today with another video of the Cyberpunk files. There's actually quite a lot more in here that I haven't covered yet, and actually even more that I haven't even seen yet. So I'm going to be tearing into some more of that today for you guys, and we're going to begin with something very interesting. Alright, so the first one we have here is actually a mini-map for the drug lab we covered in the last episode. Now, I didn't include this in the last episode because I just simply didn't find it. This is in a completely different area than the rest of the files, but it's definitely corresponding here. Alright, it's labeled Moon and Drug Lab, and I mean, it lines up. Now, we've got a kind of low-res image here. I'm sorry, that's the best the files provide for us. I guess I could have ran it through some AI upscaling, but there's really no point. We can still see it's labeled Drug Lab. It's got some crates here. I guess this is just kind of their early idea of what they wanted to have for it. It's got, you know, the tunnels leading into it and all that. And it's got several floors, including a basement and a rooftop. But I mean, what this points to is that they were pretty far along in the design of this, I would assume. I mean, if they had a mini-map here, and all these kind of, you know, labeled out things. They've got elevators, loot, that says buggy, lock door maybe, NPC interaction, bunch of doors up here. So yeah, there's a lot of interactables, and there's actually several floors of this map, so we're going to cover some of those other ones as well. Alright, so this is just simply a different variation of the map, more of the same here. I'm not sure what floor we were on last time. Maybe it was the basement, but now this is clearly labeled the first floor. Just more rooms, more boxes. We can see they had computer outlines. I guess this would have been the exit since we have the buggies here. And yeah, just another floor. But yeah, this was going to be a massive building, guys. Another floor. This one labeled the third floor. We've got some kind of, I don't know, maybe reactor structure over there. Some cool moon stuff going on. Not too much going on this floor, though. Just some more architecture. And moving up to the fourth floor, we have more of the same, actually. But we have some new interesting icons. We have some radioactive symbols. Now, these actually aren't... Oh, no, they are. What the hell does that say? Power? I think that says power. I guess maybe I should have ran it through some upscaling here. But, yeah, I would assume it looks like power to me. Some kind of power to do with that radiation symbol there. Okay, but yeah, many interactables in this building. Alright, now, I hate to be the boy who cried moon here, but I'm looking through these files, and there's more moon files, alright? I hate to say it, but there's more moon files. I missed some, alright? And now this is quite interesting, because it looks like we have reflections baked in here, as well as textures for the interior of the moons. The moon systems here. I mean, this is quite interesting. Okay, so I just took about a 30-second look through this. Let's look through it some more. Okay, now again, this is in a completely different section than I was digging through last time. But, let's see. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, wow. Alright. So, we have another one of these structures we went through last time. Just one of these, you know, central TARDIS-like structures here. This one's also labeled HR settlement, so it's somehow tied to the HR settlement we went through last time. But now the main difference is we do have reflections on the surfaces. Now, if I recall correctly, we definitely didn't have those last time. And yeah, it's just way more detailed. What is this, a vent system here? Okay. A ventilation system. I don't know if you'd actually be traversing through this, but it's here. And, yeah, we actually have the interior textures and light systems. They look to be semi-working, actually, of the Moon DLC. Some real textures here. And, I mean, we didn't see this structure last time. Wow, yeah. So, yeah, this is what it would have looked like in the Moon DLC. More textures. And we have some solar farms over here. I don't recall if we've seen anything like that last time, but yeah, just so some more moon stuff going on. Alright, so I'm going to try not to recover anything I covered last time, but I mean, this is definitely worth it, because we're finding extra pieces here that are fitting in, alright? Now, we're still on the moon. We're going back to the VIP bunker we covered a bit last time. That's this structure over here. But now what we didn't see last time is any of these connecting pieces, like this massive ravine we have going through here. You can kind of follow through there. And I mean, it doesn't seem very big, but this is actually very big. I'm just moving very quickly here. Now, yeah, we load back in this VIP bunker down here. Unfortunately, we're still missing all the textures. But, I mean, this is essentially the same as last time. Probably exactly the same. We're back to Kenji's play space and Kenji's room and the tutor's room and all that. Entrance to apartment, pool, rehab, exoskeleton. So, yeah, maybe Kenji's crippled because there's also a wheelchair in here. But, yeah, what we didn't have is this this structure on the roof here. Got some solar panels. And we also don't have any of these structures over here, but I don't know what these are. Yeah, just random boxes. But alright, on to the next. Alright, we've got some more moon content we haven't seen before. Now this is under the Moon Zone South category here. And we have kind of this just central looking fields. What does this say? A flan car. Okay, I don't know what flan is. Possibly a person or a company or a technology in this game. But you'd be able to hack this crane here. And apparently it would have some cameras on it. And there would be a missile in the center here. A tent to store some equipment. Camera control room. You got a bathroom. But yeah, so just another section of the moon that we'll never see. Yeah, we're at the starting point over here. Who knows? Alright, now moving away from the moon a bit, as you can tell from the greenery, we're going to be looking at some earlier states of some level design for some missions in the game. And now, many of these I think are missions that completely just did not make the game at all. And some early concepts that they had going on. There's also plenty of early meshes in here. And plenty of interesting stuff to look at. So now, first off here, we have Quest 00. Now, this is under the main quest category in the level design section. So this would have been a main quest at some point, I suspect. But take all the numbering with a grain of salt, because that all differs very much in the main game. There's a lot of skipping around there. So anyway, yeah, please correct me if I'm wrong, if any of this exists in the main game. This one I'm not so sure about. I know the other ones later definitely don't, but yeah, let's take a look here. We've got a road coming in with just some basic trees on the side, some kind of roundabout going on, and a fountain of sorts. And yeah, this is called the Toyoma Estate. Now that sounds like kind of Japanese. We do have a kind of Japanese castle type thing in the main game, but I don't think that's what this is at all. So coming down here, we just have some basic stuff. There's bikes here. I mean, this probably would have ended up being a bike, a motorcycle in the main game, I assume. I mean, yeah, just pretty basic stuff here. Nothing much to look at. A fountain in the back. Yeah, so let's keep going. Alright, so yeah, I won't spend too much time on the stuff that is just early designs for the original game. Like this right here is an early design for Jenkins' office, which you encounter in the Corpo prologue. But I had to point this out because I just found this interesting. It looks like the developers are writing "Kill me" on all the signs here. You got the big guy's office in the back here. But yeah, let's check out some more interesting stuff. Alright, moving on to Quest 1 here, we have just a basic apartment prefab. Now, the most interesting part of this is this vehicle right here, which seems to be an earlier version of the Quadro we see. Now, don't quote me on that, but that's what this appears to be. This does not appear to be a final game vehicle in any way. It's labeled Muscle Dragster, so maybe the brand would have been a dragster. Maybe that's the class. And it's got this this logo on the back here. But yeah, don't believe we see this one in the final game. Just a very early model here. So yeah, maybe this could have been their early ideas for the Sandra Dorset mission. That's what I would suspect for this. Just very quickly here, we seem to have an early design of Konpeki Plaza. Now, the main atrium looks a bit different, as well as the entrance. But all in all, this points to just being able to move around more. And, yeah, we got this building over here. So yeah, this was probably super early into development. Now, it's already known that T-Bug most likely would have played a bigger role in the original story, but this seems to confirm that because we have some files here under the folder T-Bug's apartment, which to my knowledge there is no T-Bug's apartment in the original game. So yeah, it's not very much completed, but we see a basic Netrunner setup here, which would have been interesting to see more of in the original game. But yeah, in these files here, it seems like they were just testing a bunch of ideas they had for the game very early on. Now, this one's under a quest 110, and it seems to focus on the Voodoo Boys. We have several Voodoo Boys files in here. This one is just titled Voodoo Boys Ambush, well, Street Ambush, and yeah, we're just on a street. This street does not make an appearance in the final game, nor does this kind of building over here to my knowledge. But yeah, so they were testing a lot of stuff. Now, this would explain a lot of the cut content from the Pacifica section. A lot of people speculate that the Pacifica section was left quite unfinished, as well as the Arasaka section. There's quite a lot of Arasaka level designs in here. So, yeah. Okay, now we're briefly going to be taking a look at some cut side missions here. Now, it seems like none of these made it to the final game, and they're actually pretty thought out, it seems. So let's take a look. Now, this first one is called Hollywood Mansion. So we enter through here. We've just got some basic greenery. And now this architecture seems to be pretty early on in development, so they might not have had an exact design of how they wanted the game to end up looking. But yeah, you would have been able to hack these cars a little bit. Just a basic utility room. There was supposed to be a pool party out here with Jennifer patrolling this area. Who knows who Jennifer is? They have a nice little hot tub out here. Yeah, it says people should be mingling everywhere. So it'd be hacking into a Maelstrommer's device. There's also a BDSM mask there, alright. Here's Jennifer's room up here. So yeah, for a side quest here, we'd be hacking Jennifer. On to the next. This side quest here would see us coming into this little apartment complex here. We'd enter this house, again on a basic hacking mission here. Yeah, we just hacked the computer to read her emails. This computer right here. But yeah, we don't see this kind of level design cul-de-sac in the final build. Here we have an earlier concept of a Raffen Shiv camp we would have assaulted. Got some turrets here, I'd assume. Maybe not, maybe a person. But yeah, we don't see this kind of farmhouse build in the final game. Nor do we see a side quest like this. On to the next. Here's just a basic radar station we may have seen in a side quest here. Not too much going on here. No character names labeled or anything like that. But still interesting nonetheless. Would have liked to see some more varied architecture in the final game. Yeah, so here's another side quest that's a little thought out. Players would have came over here, entered this building. Now this is actually called Johnny Warehouse, so maybe this would have been Johnny gameplay. And yeah, players would see someone called Izzy. We would begin a chase, which we don't see many of in the final game. And would possibly begin a car chase, maybe not. But there would be a chase sequence of some sorts. And I suspect this would be some Johnny gameplay. It's labeled Johnny Warehouse. So yeah, there's tons of side quests and main quests that have been cut and changed over the course of the game's development. And yeah, it's all here to see. And yeah, quite often we see the earlier architecture designs being used here. Alright guys, now to finish off the video, we're going to be taking a look at a couple of the Steinbeck files. These were files that were pretty early on in the game's development. These are documented a little bit on the cutting room floor, just with some reflection probes and just basic meshes that are from the base game files. But here we have a little bit of a deeper look with some new files here, so let's dive in. This is just the exterior of the Steinbeck building, actually. Yeah, a lot of people are interested in this building because it's one of the earlier files of the game. So here's the exterior here. And we'll move on to the interior in just a moment. But yeah, this would have been the interior of the Steinbeck building. It's often speculated that this would have been an earlier version of V's apartment. And it kind of makes sense if you go through it here. But yeah, we have just some really basic reflective surfaces here. The textures actually do exist on the file, but they're not applying. And of course, there's missing meshes everywhere. But yeah, we have a little bit of outside view there. And yeah, I think, I don't know, it's destroyed over here, not looking too hot. But yeah, the cutting room floor makes several mentions to this, so I figured I would show this off a bit to end the video off. That's all I've got for you guys today. Maybe back with more, who knows. Might try and look at some cut dialogue files, if I can find those. So, hope you guys enjoyed. See you around.